What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a couple trade ideas for Q4 2018 and potentially even into the first quarter of next year. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kyle and this is Opinicus Holdings. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Wanted to go ahead and jump right into it here. We are going to be discussing two different trade plans, two different trade ideas for Q4 2018. So over the next few months and even into Q1 of 2019, you can keep an eye on these setups and hopefully they result in some profit for you. Remember, always keep a tight stop loss on your plays, and these are just ideas for educational purposes. The first one I wanted to go ahead and look at is VIX. Now I'm looking at the weekly chart here. It is Wednesday, October 10th at the time of recording this video. What I wanted to look at actually was the one-day chart on VIX. Let's see here. So one strategy that I have been utilizing is actually, and I started doing this after this big spike here in February when we had the large drop in equities. It wasn't until, this was the first time I put it on. It wasn't until a few months later that I started to adopt this strategy, but basically what I do is every time VIX drops below 12, I start to buy 60 to 90 DTE, days till expiration, calls. And I don't buy the entire sum of the position that I want. So for example, if I wanted $1,000 worth, I would not buy the whole $1,000 worth in the same day. I would buy small pieces of it, maybe 250, 250, 250 until I have a full-size position. So every time VIX drops below 12, I just create an alert like this on Thinkorswim. And when it's at or below 12, I have the alert ready to go. So it just tells me whenever it's below 12, and then I go ahead and buy. Now this one right here was immediately profitable. On these other occasions here, when it dropped below 12, like for instance this one, I think I bought a partial here, sold it the next day, and I usually target about 20% gain. So once the contracts hit 20% gain, I'll go ahead and sell. I did that multiple times over the course of these kind of little retests of the 12 level, and I would wait till it specifically got below 12 and then I would buy calls. Again, not a full-size position, and you can see more often, well actually every single time since it's dipped below 12 since February, it has shot back up, and the trade idea that I'm presenting to you guys here has worked extremely successfully. Pretty much every time. I haven't had to close out a position with a loss yet in terms of this trade idea. So again, one of the reasons you want to leg in per se and not buy the entire position all at once is for little kind of weeks where you have VIX kind of just bouncing around 12. You're not really going to get a strong exit of 20% gain when the action is kind of just oscillating between 12 and 13. You really need to push above 13. Like we saw here, this was another profit area, and then you do have cases where it did drop way below 12, even into 11. This is another reason why we don't want to fully leg into the position. You don't want to buy the full position all at once. You kind of want to buy pieces of it at a time. So on this day, I may buy the first 250 using the same $1,000 example that I discussed a few minutes ago. The next day, I may buy another 250, so on and so forth, and then you get your nice exit on a day like this where it popped up, got to 13.7, and then a few days later even higher. So I've done it a number of times. You can see it has shot up each and every single time. I definitely sold on this little run too early. I think I actually waited until this day or this next day to sell, but you can see it kept on going high. Of course, I'm not the type of person to wait for a home run. I will always take a sure thing with 20% gain, so I didn't mind doing that. Didn't really look back. I am considering shorting VIX now that it's reached this level, and again, that's something that you want to leg into. You want to buy a partial position, because if you're caught in puts and it does something like this where it shoots up to 50, you're going to be in a dangerous situation in terms of your position. So always follow your own personal risk management rules. Again, this is just a trade idea for educational purposes. I have actually been putting on these trades. If you go ahead and do it yourself, please understand the risks with options trading. But yeah, this has definitely been profitable. I'm going to go ahead and continue to be putting it on throughout the end of the year and probably into next year. And like I said, I will be considering shorting in this 24, 25, 26 zone. The next trade idea, the next kind of setup I want to show you guys is actually with TLT. As you can see, TLT, let's look at the weekly chart. So since late 2015, it's kind of, this is the weekly chart, so each candlestick is a 1 week time period. Since late 2015, TLT has set up in these two channels here. You can see it kind of oscillate between the 123 level and the 116.5 level. Let's drop it down to the daily chart, give you a better idea of what we're looking at here. So same deal on the daily. So I've been putting on this trade for a long time, not quite this long, but since mid 2016, when it kind of set up this first little channel here. I didn't touch it in this zone early 2016, but after this first bounce off 123 is when I went ahead and bought calls down here. And basically what I do is I just set an alert on these levels and I bought calls down here. I believe it was the same expiry, 60 to 90 DTE, which means days until expiration on this setup. And the reason I did that is because I just want to have enough time just to make sure if the price action is going to kind of lag for a little bit. I know you can see these moves happen fairly quickly, usually a time span of about 1 week or 2 weeks, but you want to have that theta value on the contracts that is in your favor with a farther out expiry. And again, I was targeting 20% gain, and with this same ticker, I did use the quote-unquote leg in approach, not buying an entire position size all at once. So you can see this channel up here went on for about 6 months, and then it dropped back below into the old channel. This was a very easy setup for me personally, just because I recognized the pattern from the previous year. Once early 2017 it dropped below this line here, and I went ahead and opened puts, had my alert here, bought calls, and just I've ridden almost each one of these oscillations. Recently I was in calls down here around the 116 area, and I had to exit for a loss. That was the first time I've taken a loss on the TLT trade personally, which was unfortunate, but you know, that is how stock trading works. Your system is not going to work every single time. No system is perfect, and they aren't going to work for infinity. So you just have to always keep your stop losses. Never think that it's a for sure thing. Whatever trade you're in, no matter how many times you've done it, you can see how many times I've been able to put this trade on. And actually I already have my alert set because I fully expect this to get back into the channel above 116.5 here and make its way up. If it doesn't do that, I'm sure maybe it'll set up another channel here. If I had to guess, I'd say between 113 and 116, 117.5 maybe, and maybe it oscillates in that new channel. So hopefully this made sense for you guys. Again, you want to just find patterns that are repeating themselves. Simple trades to set up. I won't call them easy, but they are fairly simple to recognize if you have very basic technical analysis skills. Hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, if you got value from it or learned something new, please like and subscribe to the channel for more. Helps us grow organically and gets this video to more people like you. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.